Folks, I've just seen what the perfect four-round New York Jets mock draft looks like. We're going to talk about the results and can it actually happen. Boy Green Daily starts now.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Ashton Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast, baby. We're here on a Wednesday, and I have seen it. It exists out there in the universe, the perfect mock draft for the New York Jets. I like the results. We'll talk about them here on the show. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. And folks, you only have a few days left. Today, obviously, is Wednesday, March 26th. The final day of March is Monday, March 31st. Continue to send in your raffle tickets, baby, and you can buy raffle tickets by joining the Boy Green Coffee Club down below. It's only $2.99 a month. You can punch in your ticket, become a member of this YouTube channel, support the channel, and, of course, you get a raffle ticket for our prize pack, that we'll be giving away on Tuesday, April 1st. On April Fool's Day. Throw it up here on the board. New York Jets patched out pullover hoodie is up for grabs. That thing looks sweet. Super Bowl prize pack, a custom laser engraving Jets Boy Green package, which has a lot of items that are merged with Jets logos and Boy Green logos. One lucky person will win all of these prizes. And how do you become eligible? You either give some memberships or buy a membership for yourself, and memberships are raining from the high heavens, baby. Let's catch up. We have MFC, baby. Mother effing Jew here on the channel. Let's go. Damn straight, baby. Let's read out all these new members to the gosh darn Boy Green Coffee Club right off the top rope, baby. Justin Flanagan got this membership from MFC. We appreciate you. MFC, you're up to 16 raffle tickets so far this month, my friend. We appreciate you. There you go. There you go, MFC. My man. My main squeeze. Beautiful. Let's go to some other gifted memberships here on the show. What about J-Boy jumping on the membership gifting train? Oh, yeah, baby. Welcome, J-Boy. I appreciate you, my man. That just went to Seth Martinez. Seth Martinez, you just got yourself a Boy Green Coffee Club membership. Make sure you thank J-Boy for that lovely gift. He has 33 raffle tickets so far this month. J-Boy, a big salute to you, my friend. And we'll update our raffle leaderboard on the scrolling ticker, baby, which, by the way, you guys can get on. Make sure you jump on that train. J-Boy is in our top five. For that category as well. But that is not where the membership gifting ends, my friend. Absolutely not. Because we have NC, a.k.a. NC Green, baby, hitting him with it. Booyah. NC Green, let's roll, baby. Here are the 5 new members to Boy Green Coffee Club. Shout out to NC here. ISU_RB4L, Brandon Hare. We have Travis. We have Joe Baxter, NY Cursor. You guys are all now members of the Boy Green friggin' Coffee Club, baby. Damn straight. Let's roll. It's good to see all the memberships flowing, and all of those raffle tickets, like I said, are getting added to your guys' total. NC Green, that is 10 raffle tickets for you, my handsome friend. Thank you so much for supporting the show. And like I said, we'll be drawing that. We already know what the next prize pack is for April, so that'll be a good one too. So keep them flowing. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for the support. Boom shakalaka, and welcome to all the Boy Green Coffee Club members as well on the channel, like Bubble Badshaw, Allen, and Mr. Fulton, and everybody else that's in the mix too. I appreciate you. So good morning, everybody. Let's get into it. Yeah, there's a lot of NFL news yesterday. I see Taylor Sterling saying the Patriots are a joke. Stephon Diggs 3-year deal. You know, I used that, I don't know if you guys remember in Rush Hour, right? Chris Tucker. I have that clip saved in my phone. $50 million. I have that on my phone. So it wasn't exactly a fit because, Stephon Diggs get like 69 or something. So it wasn't exactly 50, but I shared the $50 million. Yeah, that gets me every time. So, yeah, Patriots. Okay. You want Stephon Diggs for that bag? All right. Giants getting Russell Wilson. What the hell does it all mean? Is there going to be a quarterback slip and slide with Shadur Sanders, as I see Alan asking in here in the chat? This is bonkers, man. This is bonkers. Let me see. Where was that? Where is that Alan point here? Yeah, there it is. Let's throw this up on the screen real quick. And then we'll get to the actual topic of the show. But if Shadur Sanders does go number 2 to Cleveland, how far does he fall? To be honest, I don't think he falls that far. So from what Mo Moten, he works as a national writer and columnist at Bleacher Report. He joined my radio show last week, and his team of choice is the Las Vegas Raiders. He told me pretty confidently, and he's been right about a lot of Raiders stuff, that the Raiders at 6 is the floor for Shadur Sanders, regardless of the Geno Smith edition and things of that nature. He believes if Shadur somehow falls to Vegas at 6, which I think is totally possible. Got a piece of hair in my mouth. Anywho, that he believes Shadur will be the pick at number 6 to Las Vegas Raiders. Jordan Reed, ESPN NFL draft analyst. Obviously, we talked about this. I think it was over the weekend that the Jets are the floor for Shadur Sanders. So, I think the fall won't be too. I don't think we get some sort of an Aaron Rodgers fall where he's falling to like 24. I don't see that. And I think if he starts slipping and sliding like to somewhere in the 10-ish range, Mike Tannenbaum in his ESPN mock had the Steelers trading up for him from 21. So I think someone trades up for him. So I don't think it's some slip and slide. New Orleans could take him. Someone just mentioned that in the chat. I could see a bevy of teams going after him. And, I'm not saying that Shadur is the can't-miss prospect or anything like that, but, quarterbacks, man. Quarterbacks. I could totally see it. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how far it goes. Let's go to a YouTube super chat. A member shout out, excuse me. Super chat, everything else. Mr. Fulton, a member for 4 months on this channel. Every time we hear a super chat or member shout of any kind, we hear from my beautiful daughters, Ray Luna.
Wow.
He says, Paul, I'm still having a hard time missing my friend. For Mr. Fulton lost a good friend of his, unfortunately, passed away. And again, we're thinking about you, pal. I can't promise you sweet pleasantries like things are just immediately going to get better. The loss is always going to be there. As someone that is about to take some time away, I'll still be doing Boy Green Daily, but I've got a funeral to attend to for my grandmother in April. Things suck. It sucks. I can't give any quick antidote. Hopefully this show can provide you an escape from worrying and thinking about it. But yeah, man, life sucks. And death and birth and life and all that stuff is a part of the cycle. But, we're thinking about you, and hopefully, you can continue to sort of work your way through this day by day to power through, pal. Now, so we're thinking about you, Mr. Fulton. Now, let's get into this mock draft. I'm going to work in reverse order here because I know the pick, all right? I think it's the perfect mock draft, but I think there's a pick everyone's going to hate. So I'm going to stay away from that pick first. We have a full article in the YouTube description down below, so you can read ahead if you'd like. But I'm going to start in the second round in this mock draft. The mock draft was by Chad Reader, depending on how you pronounce that. I've heard Reader a lot lately, which makes me think it's not Chad Reader anymore. But either way, Chad Reader of the NFL Media Group, he put out a 4-round mock draft on NFL.com. So it had obviously all the teams in the 4-round mock. And for the Jets, he had, again, I'm going to skip the first-round pick. They drafted someone at 7th overall. We'll get back to that in a second. Kenneth Grant falling all the way to pick 42, and I've heard a little bit of this noise. This is a guy that at the beginning of the offseason, we're doing mock drafts a couple of months ago. Kenneth Grant was going 7th overall to the Jets, man. 7th overall to the Jets. And now he falls all the way to 42 in this 4-round mock draft? Okay. Sign me up for Kenneth Grant at freaking 42, man. Kenneth gosh darn Grant. Hell yeah. I'll have all of that action, please. Kenneth friggin' Grant, baby. Wow. dropping all the way to 42 in this mock draft. I think this would be a terrific ad for the New York Jets. 6'4", 331 pounds, 33.5-inch arms, 10 1/8 hands. This guy is massive. He's going to be a terrific player in the National Football League. We all know how much the Jets need help at defensive tackle. Lining him up next to Quinnen Williams, getting him at 42 would be the steal of the draft, quite frankly. Played in all 14 games in 2022, mostly as a reserve. 2023 is his second team All Big Ten Conference, played in all 15 games, 5 starts. Of course, they won the national championship game that year. He had 29 tackles, 5 TFLs, 3.5 sacks, a pick, and 6 PBUs. And then you go to 2024 this past season, third team Associated Press All-American, second team All Big Ten. It started in the 12 games, 32 tackles, 6.5 TFLs, 3 sacks, 5 PBUs. He ended up not playing in the bowl game against Alabama. I mean, this guy is nasty, massive, and he is the absolute definition of what the Jets are looking for with this run-stuffing, big-ass body in the middle of your defensive line and move this mountain of a man. So this would be awesome. I don't know why. Maybe I have no idea, quite frankly, why there's been some buzz or the opposite of buzz. I mean, it is noise, rumors, whatever, that this guy is falling in the draft. But if he does, yippee-ki-yay, that if the Jets can jump on this at 42. So this mock draft was perfect. And hell, I'm going to be honest, if Kenneth was dropping in the late first and I'm the Jets, I'm making a call to move on up. I'm like, let's go get our guy. Let's do our Jermaine Johnson, trade back into the first round to get this guy. So in this 4-round mock draft, Kenneth Grant falling all the way to bleeping 42. I agree, NC Green. It's hard to think that could happen, but people slip and slide all the time. Blessed be he. Let's hope. I mean, what a great mock draft scenario there. Hey, some more memberships being gifted, baby. Paul Texter jumping in the mix. I appreciate you with the 5-pack. Oh, yeah, baby. A bleeping 5-pack.
That's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Yes, we are, AG. We are built for this. Here are the 5 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Chris Daly, RB Gamer, Cool Keith, Paul Texter himself, Nanga Iboko. I have to say this. I've been doing this show for a long time. I don't think I've ever seen this in the history of ever, that an individual, hey, Paul Texter, gives 5 memberships. And one of the random 5, because again, it's random. One of the random 5 memberships he gifted was to himself. What the hell? That's one of the most unique, creative things I think I've ever seen in this show's history. I didn't even know that was possible. What in the world? So, Paul Texter, way to make history, pal. You got yourself a 5-pack of Boy Green Coffee Club memberships. Like I said, I've never seen that before. I didn't even know that was possible. Didn't even know that was a thing. But apparently it is. So, Paul Texter, congratulations. Like I said, on making that kind of history here on the program and getting yourself 5 raffle tickets to our contest. Yeah, if I have my notes here correctly, these are your first 5 of the month, so appreciate it, Paul. Not your first time gifting on this channel, but your first 5 of the month here in my notes. So beautiful. There's a nice 5-pack of raffle tickets, my friend. Nice. Booyah. Let's go. Now, let's get to another one here. This is a guy that Philly Noodles asked before the show. He's like, is that who I think it is? Is that on the thumbnail of this YouTube video? Jack Bech, the TCU wide receiver. Is that Jack Bech there, baby? And by the way, real quick aside, Alan says Tyleik Williams will be there at 42. I'll take Tyleik Williams. That'd be just dandy. So sign me up, Alan. But anywho, back to you. Philly Noodle says, is that Jack Bech? Is that him on the video? You damn straight it is. And with the 73rd overall pick in the 3rd round, the Jets got Jack Bech, TCU wide receiver, according to Chad Reeder. And, man, we need wide receivers, obviously. And, boy, getting Jack Bech at a TCU, this muscled-up physique, oh, yeah. You could sign me up for some of that action. Jets need some wide receiver help. 6'1", 214 pounds, 31.5-inch arm, 9-inch hands, a little smaller hands there, but a wildly productive guy. 2021 LSU led the team in receptions with 43, 489 yards, 3 tutties, played in 13 games, 7 starts. 2022 played in all 12 games, 4 starts. 16 catches, 200 yards, 12.5 average, touchdown receiving, 592, 18.4. Got on the kick return as well. Played 8 games as a reserve in 2023. Came on over. Let's see here. Second team All Big 12 Conference. Led team with 62 catches this past year, 1,000 receiving yards, 16.7 per. Great numbers there. 9 touchdowns. Started 12 games. Did not end up playing in the bowl win. And if you guys missed this, Dom C told this story many weeks back coming off the Senior Bowl. Unfortunately, Jack Besh's brother, Tiger, was killed in that terrorist attack in New Orleans on New Year's Day. Tiger was a wide receiver and all Ivy League return specialist at Princeton. That crazy guy with the truck, that horrible tragedy. And then Jack Besh, a few weeks later, honors his brother, and they all do on the Senior Bowl helmets, and Jack Besh gets the game-winning touchdown of the Senior Bowl. You can't write the script any better than that. So I would love Jack Besh. That'd be great. We need a wide receiver. He'd be a fun one to add to the rotation. So Jack Besh, interesting player, very interesting. Here's what Lance Zierlein had to say about him in his overview NFL Combine profile, quote, competitive inside or outside target who stands out as a box checker in several important columns. Besh can be slowed in press and might not have much separation speed, but he's big, strong, with outstanding ball skills. He's physical at the top of the route and has a rebounder's feel for owning catch space once he gains top positioning. His hands are sticky and strong with elite catch focus from any spot on the field. He's fearless and physical as a runner, but needs more nastiness as a run blocker. Besh's lack of explosiveness could shrink his workspace, but the focus should be on his pro-ready toughness and ball skills that make him a projectable possession target with wide receiver 3 upside. Sign me up. I'll take some Jack Besh. I'll take some Jack Besh, baby. And perhaps my favorite pick of this entire mock draft, and again, then we'll work back to the first round conversation. Ozzie Trapillo falling to the 4th round. All bleeping day, people. Ozzie Trapillo is 6'8". 6'8". This guy is friggin' massive. His father played in the National Football League. He's got NFL bloodlines. This guy's a massive man. He's 6'8", 316 pounds, 33-inch arms, 10 3/8 hands. His combine results at a 1.77 10-yard split, 8.10 on the broad jump, 7.71 on the 3-cone drill, 4.7 on the 20-yard shuttle, 22 bench press reps of 225 pounds, 5.21 on the 40. This is a guy that's played in 44 career games, most of those being at right tackle, but also he has some experience at left tackle. The Jets have a massive void with Morgan Moses walking out of the door. You get Ozzie, you get Ozzie, oi, oi, oi. You get Ozzie over here playing right tackle, and you get a 4th-round guy that could start for you day one. And by the way, Darren Moji is probably going to need this kind of draft because these guys, let's go through. You have Kenneth Grant, starter. Jack Besh, starter. Ozzie Trapillo, starter. And again, we'll work back into the first round in a second. It's a certain quarterback I'm not sure all you guys are going to be a fan of, quite frankly, but I think it's a perfect mock draft. You get Ozzie Trapillo here in the 4th round, a guy I like a lot. Okay, I think we're cooking here. He's a big boy. Now, here's some of the overview from Lance Zierlein. Tall tackle prospect with NFL bloodlines, noticeable improvement in play strength last season. The run blocking tape falls below the protection tape due to leverage and adjustment limitations. We frequently see this with taller tackles, again, 6'8". Trapillo won't generate much movement in the run game, but good upper body power helps him neutralize the edge. He operates with sound pass sets, active hands, excellent arm extension. He has a good feel for pocket depth with an ability to ride rushers over the top, but he will get beat by inside counters and speed to power rushers at times. Trapillo could operate as a swing tackle early on, but his potential pass protection gives him a good chance to become a starter. Ozzie Trapillo, baby. Yes, which, like I said, is one of my favorites about that. So Chad Reeder, Ozzie to the 4th. Again, Ozzie. Oi, oi, oi. And now Boycott Activision says, hey, Paul, why have you been hiding it? Who is the first pick? Well, the 1st-round pick was Jackson Dart with the 7th overall pick, which, again, I know some of you are going to be quite upset with, but I'm just telling you, the rest of the draft, if it fell that way, you want to take a swing at one guy with Jackson Dart in 7th overall? I understand why you're upset by that. And Alan says, hey, Alfred Collins out of Texas, I'd likely great run stuffer. the run stuffer there. But Jackson Dart was the 7th overall pick for the New York Jets. Now, if you guys didn't see this, okay, there was some buzz. We haven't done a show about it, but we'll just kind of package that show into this show. We talked about the Shadur buzz, right? That the Jets could be the floor for Shadur, but that might not matter because he could go higher than that. But here's something from Todd McShay. Todd. He's no longer at ESPN. He's at the Ringer now. He's at the Ringer. Here's what Todd McShay said on Twitter, which caught my attention. Todd McShay said this on Twitter. Here it is. Okay. I think, quote, this Todd McShay on Twitter. Quote, I think it's worth mentioning that Jackson Dart could have gone higher than the 19-pick trade I proposed here. That was in his mock draft. I'll explain that in a second. The Jets at pick number 7 should not be ignored. Just don't be surprised if that builds some steam in the coming weeks. He's saying Jackson Dart, 7th overall to the Jets. I'll work back to that mock draft scenario he talked about. He also made an appearance on the Rich Eisen show last week. McShay, of his own accord, brought up this quote I'm about to read. Rich Eisen did not ask him about Jackson Dart. He did not ask him about the Jets. But here's what Tom McShay said, expanding on his social media thought. Quote, I think a couple of teams in the top 10 at least temporarily solved their quarterback situation for next year. It doesn't mean that when you bring in Justin Fields, that prevents you from drafting Jackson Dart, the Ole Miss quarterback at number 7. If you're the Jets, that is something I think we should probably start paying a little bit of attention to, McShay told Rich Eisen. Jackson Dart, Jets, 7th overall. Again, I'm going to be live streaming the entire first round of the NFL draft, which is less than a month away. It's April 24th. That Thursday will be live starting at 8 o'clock all the way through the entire first round. So we will all see my reaction and all your reactions together here. If that's the truth, oh my, there will be quite a reaction from me if they take Jackson Dart with the 7th overall pick. Good night. That will be a interesting reaction. But Todd McShay says that's going to build up steam, and don't be surprised. I will be surprised. I'm sorry, Todd, despite your little cautionary, hey, don't be surprised. I will be surprised. I will be, whoa, mama. That will be quite a reaction if that does indeed happen. So that's been some interesting nuggets there. But anywho, in Todd McShay's mock draft 2.0, he dropped on the McShay report. He had Jackson Dart falling all the way to the 19th overall pick, and the Giants traded up with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to go get Jackson Dart. But he said, while he played out that mock draft scenario, he said, hey, just a little note, Jackson Dart Jets. So that's the mock draft. The mock draft is as follows. This is from Chad Reeder. Jackson Dart, 21-year-old. He'll be 22 by the start of the season. Quarterback, 7th overall, Ole Miss to the New York Jets. We have Kenneth Grant, Michigan interior defensive lineman, 21 years of age, 42 overall, 2nd round, New York Jets. Jack Bech, 23 years old, TCU wide receiver, 3rd round, number 73 overall, New York Jets. And then Ozzie Trapillo, number 110 overall, 4th round, Boston College offensive tackle, New York Jets. New York Jets. That is the mock draft. I think it's a perfect mock draft. Now, obviously, we could get into debates about the quarterback position at 7. That's the part where we can all what are we talking about here? But you fill your defensive tackle hole, you fill your wide receiver hole, you fill your right tackle hole. It's pretty good. It's pretty gosh darn good for the draft. I like that. I like that. You like that? I like that. But Jackson Dart, 7th overall. Now we can get into a debate whether or not you like Jackson Dart or not. But if the Jets draft Jackson Dart, they believe he's a franchise quarterback, which in some level should be exciting for Jet fans and say, hey, that's what they think. That's what they think. Now, it looks like not everyone would be pleased if that is the case. And yes, Terrence, we will be live streaming. I promise that. Like, for instance, KG131 says, if we draft Jackson Dart at 7, we need to show up to MetLife with pitchforks and torches. Good Lord. So I get that won't excite everybody, but I will tell you, pretty excited about this haul. Alan does not believe it's realistic, so, it is what it is. It's mock draft season. So whether or not someone falls or doesn't fall, I'm not so sure, but, hey, when you have this kind of action, with a 4-round mock, I give massive respect to people that put out a mock draft of that nature. Jared B. asked, does anyone in here like Jackson Dart? I like his moxie. I like his chutzpah. I just For him to have been this second or third round pick, and then throughout this process, he's just suddenly jumped to number 7, someone would just have to explain like what has happened. Like, what has happened that made Dart a 7th overall pick? I guess that's what I would need to hear. That's what I would need to hear. Microfox says, Todd mocking Dart at 7 invalidates the entire mock. This is not a Todd McShay mock draft. This is a Chad Reeder. This is Chad Reeder's mock draft. I'm just saying Todd McShay. So what I like to do is give you guys mock drafts, and this is people mock drafting. And then if there's real sourcing of what people believe is happening. So I like kind of pairing those things. So this is a real mock draft that happened. Again, Jackson Dart at 7, Kenneth Grant at 42, Jack Besh at 73, and Ozzie Trapillo at 110. That's a real mock draft. And then pocket that. And then on the other half, Todd McShay says, hey, watch out for Jets, Jackson Dart at 7. So I like kind of talking about the sourcing that people say, whether you believe it or not, and then go to the other way. I just have to say I have not heard this till recently. Someone commented this term under YouTube. You know how we had Bowers Boys, and that was a cute nickname? I have not heard. This makes me want him even more. Apparently, if you are a fan of Jackson Dart, you are as Mother Effing Chu says, a dart bag, which is funny. So apparently, dart bags, that is what fans of Jackson Dart call themselves in the Jets community who are rooting for such a thing, dart bags. That's funny. That's funny. I will say I laughed. Someone sent that on YouTube yesterday on one of our older videos. Hey, dart bags unite. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, dart bags. I'm like, that's hilarious. So dart bags apparently is what that is called. Fascinating. That's hilarious. But anywho. So yeah, keep your comments coming, everybody, here on the channel. Yes, I will throw this up. We got a super chat member shout out coming in here. Let's throw this up here on the channel real quick.
Wow.
MFC, you've been a member for 10 months. God bless. Thank you so much. That means the world. MFC asks, has anyone heard from Austrian Jets fan? And I will reiterate it just in case some of you did not hear. I don't want to put Austrian's business out there in the universe. I love Austrian. He's been a great friend. I sent him a prize pack semi-recently, last month, I think it was. Austrian is going through some things where he is not able to comment or really interact with the show at this time. Hopefully that changes in the future, but he's dealing with some stuff. Like I said, I don't want to put his business fully out there. He reached out to me and let me know that this would be the case. So I don't believe anyone's heard from Austrian Jet fan outside of me and hearing it privately over message. But our thoughts and love are sent out to Austrian. I love Austrian, number one Austrian Jet fan. He's the best. He's meant a lot to the show and its support and everything else. But he's been a good friend. So that's in case you guys missed the update on Austrian. Send up your prayers for Austrian. He's the man. We love him. If you're watching right now, Austrian, we love you, pal. And a shout out. I know Aced Up 10 a couple like a week ago or 2 weeks ago or something made a raffle donation to Austrian. So any of you guys can feel free to do that. Just let me know if you gift memberships or do super chats that you want that thrown over in the Austrian Jet fan. Because right now you see it on the screen. He has 80 raffle tickets. Some of those were gifted by Aced Up 10, and he wanted to give him a gift. So if you guys want to do that in some way, feel free. And if he wins, obviously, this latest prize pack, we'll definitely send that over to Austria as well, as we did with the last one. That was the first time I've ever done international shipping, by the way. That was fascinating to learn about that process. But yes, prayers up for Austrian, and let's keep him in our thoughts. So, yeah, he's going through some stuff right now. So, like I said, prayers up to Austrian for sure. One other super chat. I thought I saw another one. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss this.
Wow.
Luca, baby, he's been a member for 2 months. Armand Membu at 7, McCord in round 3. Let's get Engstrand and let Engstrand develop. Let's go through a couple of things here. I think I've said this before, but I'll reiterate it. There are 3 players currently for me. If the Jets take any of these 3 with the 7th overall pick, I will be a very happy man. One of them is Armand Membu, the Missouri offensive tackle. Let's just finish the offensive line right bleeping now. Olufashnu, John Simpson, Joe Tippmann, Elijah Vera Tucker, and Armand Membu. Booyah. You got your starting 5. Let's ride. You have a great offensive line or a talented, good offensive line, whatever. We'll see what the potential is. I am very high on the potential of this group. You could pass the ball better. You could run the ball better. You could set a tone with great offensive line play. That could set up success for other things and Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, everybody else. We'll see. I'm a little nervous of New England taking Armand Membu at 4th overall. I hope they don't. I'm a little nervous about it, if I'm being candid. I hope he's on the board. The other 2 players that I said I would be comfortable with. So Armand Membu's one of them at 7th overall. Mason Graham's another one. Love Mason Graham. But also with Kenneth Grant or Tyler Williams falling to the 2nd round, maybe I'd be more comfortable taking someone else there. But Mason Graham, interior defensive lineman, Michigan, or Tyler Warren, the tight end out of Penn State. Any of those 3 guys for the 7th overall pick, I will be a very happy man. And then if it's someone else, we'll talk about it. Comic Corner round 3. Everyone knows my bias here. I've covered Syracuse football around here for the last, I don't know, at least 10 years, if not more professionally, of covering Syracuse football here locally with my job as a sports talk radio host. So I love Kyle McCord. Came over from Ohio State, had an awesome year, led all of college football in passing. Kyle McCord's a special talent. So I love Kyle a lot. I would love Kyle McCord. Round 3, round 4, wherever you could get Kyle McCord. Some people said 2nd round. I think that's a little rich, but if you think he's a franchise quarterback, then you pull the trigger. That'd be a great draft. I'm talking about this draft being great. There's a lot of potential drafts that could be great. Armand Membu and Kyle McCord would be a great way to go. And then get me that one of those defensive tackles that we were talking about earlier, Tyleik Williams out of Ohio State. Kenneth Grant, if somehow he's there at 42, that's one of the best 3-round mocks you can have. Yeah, you can't fill every hole, but yeah, man. Chip. But I love that, Luca. Great mock draft opportunity. Yeah, praying for Austin Jet fan. Thank you guys for all the kind words. He's with us in spirit. Agreed. Love sent to him. Taylor Sterling says, New England sucks. No way they'll be smart enough to take Membu. Probably taking Tet McMillan. Hey, works for me. It works for me. Yeah. I'm a little worried, though. Of all the teams that are in front of them, I guess Jacksonville could. Vegas could. One of these teams could. But, New England's the one that I'm like, ooh, I'm a little nervous. Especially because I just read it in a mock. I can't remember who. We're reading a million mocks right now. But there's some people that believe Membu can flip over to left tackle. If that's true, New England will definitely take him at 4. They think he can flip to left tackle. So, Hep says he's nervous about Patriot taking Mason Graham. I guess they could take anybody, Who do you know? Chitty Took. What if New England takes Membu? Would I be interested in Will Campbell playing right tackle, the LSU offensive lineman? I don't love projecting play. Again, it can happen, right? Where you project a player to do something that they normally don't do. Like Joe Alt, for instance. He was a longtime left tackle at Notre Dame. Chargers draft him, say, hey, you're learning right tackle, buddy, and he's awesome this past year. So it can happen. But the arm length concerns me about Will Campbell because he would have the shortest wingspan of any offensive lineman in NFL history, according to the metrics. That's short, man. That is short. And I don't like taking those kind of outliers. I don't like, especially with the top 7 pick. So that sort of concerns me. So, hey, he's got the shortest arm length ever. And, hey, play right tackle, pal. I don't think I'm forcing that one. If Will Campbell is the choice, I think I'm going in an alternative direction. That's how I feel about it. Let's see. James Fowl says, I'd throw Tater Tot McMuffin on that list. I wouldn't be angry. So, it would be, getting a 6'5" wide receiver opposite Garrett Wilson won't make me angry. That would be exciting. I just have some concerns about his separation ability and things of that nature. Bubble Badshaw asked, Paul, did I watch any Amy games? And I'm assuming you're saying Army games. I can't. Maybe the Army-Navy game at the end of the year, like every year that I watch, but no, I think that was about it on Army games. Yeah. EJ, a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club, sending in a member super chat shout out.
Wow.
EJ, thanks for being a member for 4 months. I appreciate it, pal. Are the Jets leaking dart at 7 attempt to trade up? Possibly. I mean, because there'd be teams if Dart's there at 7, which I don't know how he wouldn't be there at 7 unless we get a real shock in the draft. You know, do the thing you did last year, right? Jets picking at 10. Minnesota calls, and the Jets are like, "Oh boy, I'm on the phone with Denver. Oh geez, I'm gonna hang up. We got another trade." Like, okay, we'll trade up, and they Jedi mind trick. They know Minnesota's going up for a quarterback. The Jets can still get whoever they want plus extra assets. Well done by Joe Douglas there. But yeah, if the Jets could do that again and get New Orleans to trade up, if again, I don't know if I'm willing to trade back this far unless I'm getting a Mondo Hall, Pittsburgh 21. They're like, hey, we'll trade up for Jackson Dart, and they give us a future first and all this other extra shit. That's not normally a Pittsburgh move, but they have been doing anti-Pittsburgh moves, quite frankly, all offseason. Trading for a DK Metcalf, crazy. Giving him $150 million, crazy. Hey, Aaron Rodgers, crazy. So maybe. But yeah, that could totally make sense, EJ. There's smoke screen just because this guy says, in this case, Tom McShay says, look out for it. It makes a lot of sense. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. It could be a smoke screen. There could be all kinds of reasons. So good question, good comment, EJ. For sure. Throw it up. Dave Brigger says, flipping tackle positions in the NFL rarely transitions. Yeah, that just sort of scares me, to be honest. When you ask someone to do something, I'd rather, because it goes to like, we've had, here's a memory, Vernon Gholston, where you draft the Vernon Gholston, you say, hey, I know you did X in college, but we want you to do Y at the NFL. That's a risk. When you're asking someone to do something they've never done before. And sometimes busts are just busts. No matter what you would have asked them to do, they would have stunk. But I don't like that. I like, oh, you were awesome at that? Well, keep doing that here, and we'll get you stronger. Like, that's what I would prefer. So, let me see. Keep going here. We got other comments, questions. Okay, we got a YouTube super chat here from our buddy Neil, baby. Wow.
Wow.
Okay, let's put this in for Neil here. Let's go. Let me put this in Neil's category. Neil. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. That is 3 more raffle tickets, Neil. You're up to 16 raffle tickets, and you're just $1 away from another one. So wonderful. Thank you, Neil. Let's read Neil's super chat. Excuse me. Rather than come on with 13 points, I'm asking the chat respectfully for your vote this morning on Jake's show, Jake Asman show, for those who don't know. I bleed green. This channel is special with real Jet fans and OGs. Prayers to Austrian Jet fan. Thank you, Neil, for the kind words and the super chat. Yeah, let's curry Neil votes. The Jake Asman morning show, whenever that is, I'm not sure. I know Jake does it at different times, so whenever that is, let's see if we can. I don't know who Neil's facing, but let's go. Show some Neil love. Neil has inspired some of the craziest shows on this channel. I love Neil's passion. It's clear. And the 13 points, that's funny. But shout out to Neil. And yeah, let's vote Neil. Neil Sr., baby. On the Jake Asman show, they're doing, of course, the Jake Asman madness of reaching further and further on the bracket. We'll open up the phone lines here in just a minute. Danny, real life. Membu at 7 would be a steal. Warren at 7 is a reach. If Membu is gone and Warren is there, trade back a couple of spots, add picks, and take Warren. Makes a lot of sense, Danny. The team that I fear in the Tyler Warren sweepstakes most is Indianapolis at 14. But I could also see a couple of those teams, like if Chicago just wants to be bad mouth, like, hey, let's go, pair him with Cole Kmet, or New Orleans. I mean, I could just see a lot of teams taking Tyler Warren, to be honest with you. I could see a lot of teams. So that's a danger. If you like a guy and you play the cute game of trading back, trying to pick up assets and still get your guys, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So as long as the Jets are comfortable potentially losing and playing that trade out game, that's something you gotta see. And a lot of people in the chat are saying, Neil, we got you on the vote. So Neil, it looks like you're currying good favor. Vote for Neil. There you go, baby. Thanks, Neil. Boycott Activision says the ghost of Golston still haunts me to this day. I still have his 56 jersey in that closet over there, baby, and I've worn it a few times. Yeah, the Jake Asman show for people that are asking. That is the Jake Asman show. Oh, it's Neil versus Leany. Oh, I love Leany. Well, Once you get Queenie Leanie, once you get this deep, though, once you get this deep, I guess we're getting some of our Jets on Jets crimes. All right, we got 280 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. We'll play a quick Hep song, and we'll take phone calls throughout the rest of the show. Boy Green Daily continues after this.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S. Jets. Let's go.
Yes, Hep. Let's go. Appreciate you. Phone lines are now open. That is youtube.com/boygreen25. Feel free to call into today's show. If you're watching anywhere and everywhere, Facebook or Twitter, feel free to hop on over. That is, again, youtube.com/boygreen25. We're also trying to make a chase to 10,000 subscribers. We're only a couple thousand away. And like I said, we'll continue to do our free giveaways for subscribers. Once we reach milestone subscribers, we'll continue to do some free giveaways. So, folks, we have the paid giveaways, which are the raffles, and we also have the free giveaways as well. Gives you a good combination, of everything going on here on the program. All right, let's go to the phone lines, you crazy animals, and let's see who we got. Chef Kevin Gilbert graces us with his presence first off the top. What's up, Chef?
BG, how you doing, man?
Hey, it's good to see you, pal.
Hey, always a pleasure, man. Hearing Hep's song every morning, man, it gets me going, makes me feel good, gets me a little energized. The only thing to like really nitpick and critique on is just like pause the length. Like I would love to have it a little bit longer to
Okay.
like really get jamming, really get in the mood,
That's a good
man.
point.
When I'm drinking my coffee, moving around in the kitchen, man, it's a beautiful song, man.
We'll work on that. I like
Yeah.
that.
That's the only thing, man. Shout out to Hep, man. And Florida Phil, I know he has a nice song too, man.
Oh yeah. We'll start working in the rotation of music. Yeah, FL
Yeah.
Phil. Yeah, Philium, baby.
hmm
Yeah, we'll get some of those in there for sure.
That's right. Shout out to Austrian Jet fan, man. Like number one Austrian Jet fan. Like, we were thinking about you. We know you're a good dude, all that good stuff, man. You support, financially. You're also in the chat and all that, bringing great energy to the show. Unfortunate stuff, but just know that we're here for you. And whenever you return, man, you're always welcome. The one thing, BG, like
Yeah.
that kind of got me going a little bit is hearing about Dart at 7.
Oh
Like
yeah.
if we were to draft him at 7, like that's it. Not F losing my bananas, like I lose my noodle. Like
Oh
my
my
brain,
gosh.
like I'll be gone, like I'll be in a psych ward if we get Dart at 7. Like I'm not against Dart. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong. Like if we could get him later, maybe
Sure.
trade back into the first or early
hmm
second, like I'm 100% cool with that. But it's just like with so many needs right now, knowing that we already got Fields, we spent some money, like we didn't really have any big splashes
hmm
other than like Fields. All right.
Right.
Like in my opinion, like Fields is the best on the market. We got a need there.
hmm
I believe he's gonna fit the culture that we have brewing right now. Already has great relationships with G5.
Of course.
The Rucker thing, man. I was a believer in the beginning.
hmm
Hopefully, maybe something could happen in him. I'm a big believer in Rucker's run blocking.
Me
One
too.
of one of the plays, it was that 9/11 game when Breeze took it off for like 80, 85
Oh
yards.
yeah.
Like if you look at that replay, man, Rucker's the one out there just spring loading
hmm
and freeing Breeze for that run. It was literally, if Garrett would have stayed on his block, then Breeze would have took it to the house. But I'm a believer in Rucker's run blocking. It's
hmm
just the catching ability. There was some drops there that hurt us. There was definitely mistakes,
hmm
line blocking assignments. Now I know that there was some times where, you can say here, I know that there was some times where him and Conklin was doing the double tight end, and
Yep.
it might have been a little bit tricky or whatever. And also knowing that we had Keith Carter, who was just god awful, man.
Oh,
One of the
terrible.
probably the worst coach in the NFL, man. Just the run blocking schemes. It was just blocking straight ahead. There was nothing going on, and nothing being creative or anything to kind of. We got the three backs. You know, we have them, and we didn't utilize them at all just because we couldn't get any momentum moving forward from the line. There was no pressure. Like in the trenches, you got to move forward to get some yards, and it was rare when we were winning the line of scrimmage. So just hopefully, we can do something, getting a weapon. I've been high on Warren this whole time. Tet, I wouldn't be mad if we got Tet, to be honest, because we need a weapon.
For sure.
But in my head, it's just like with Warren, you have some playmaking, you have a weapon there, and then you have the blocking. Like that blocking, like we're thinking about what right tackle we're gonna get and all that. Obviously, I think the Patriots spent a little bit, to get our guy. They just spend a lot of money on Diggs too. Like
Oh
I
my
don't know
God,
what
yeah.
they're doing over there, but God bless. Let them keep spending like this. For me, it doesn't make any sense. With dudes with injuries and whatnot, and giving them
Yeah.
a big bag. But that's on them.
Mm.
Dolphins, Bills. Did they get a little bit better? They're what they are, man. I just feel like for us, man, with the draft coming up, just got to identify the needs and just stick with the plan, man. Stick with the plan and see what we can do with the trades and free agency afterwards or whatever to kind of get this thing going, man. Um, Shout out to Neil, man. I'll stick my neck out there for him.
All right.
He's one of the goats, one of the OGs when it comes to the Jake Asman show. Like one of
Of
the
course.
guys that I was like, heavily listening to. Yeah, he got a bunch of points, man, but the dude's entertaining, man, with what he got going on. He's a big Jets fan. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Season ticket holder. You could talk about all that kind of stuff, man. And Queenie. Lena, she's great as well. It's tough when you're getting down to the nitty gritty with all these great callers that you have.
Yeah.
But yeah, Neil got my support.
Okay.
And then just to finish up, man.
Sure. Yeah.
My next matchup is actually against Bonesy, and I've been
Oh, wow.
basically just literally cooking bones this last 2 weeks or whatever and brainstorming. I got this awesome bone marrow barrier style taco, which
Ooh.
is like
Wow.
lights out, man. I'm gonna finish that up or whatever. So I literally got a whole bonesy menu. I'm literally cooking this dude
Interesting.
every day. You know what I'm saying? Just
Getting the
trying to
right
work.
mentality. Yeah.
Yeah. Just trying to work, just trying to cook, man. But BG, man, I appreciate your time, man. Thanks for taking my call. Have a good one, brother.
I appreciate you, Chef. Thank you so much. Yeah. Chef. I like that. The mentality. I've been cooking this mother for weeks. Now I'm going to cook him on the field. That elite mentality, that elite preparation. Special. Real quick before we get back to the phone lines, I see we got a couple of super chats in here. And they're from our buddy Backwoods Aren't Cool. All right, let's throw these up every time we get a super chat.
Wow.
Emeka Ibuka, thank you for the $5 super chat, Backwoods Aren't Cool. Emeka Ibuka needs to go in the first round. All-time leader at the Ohio State University for receiving yards. Book it. Backwoods Aren't Cool. I love Emeka Ibuka. He's one of my favorite draft crushes in this draft. The problem is that the Jets probably won't take him at 7, and he probably won't be there at 42. So I would love any world where we can land Emeka Ibuka, and then we reunite all the Ohio State boys. We have the Ohio State family reunion at One Jets Drive. That would be amazing. So I would love it. Backwoods Aren't Cool. I would absolutely love it if somewhere we can sort of speak that into existence. I love Emeka Ibuka. And Backwoods Aren't Cool with another super chat here on the show.
Wow.
Game changer. Get them, Ohio State boys. I'm from Georgia. Justin Fields is a better Cam Newton. Wow. If you know, you know. Hands down, coldest offense in the NFL. I promise you. Wow. Backwoods Aren't Cool. You're sending the heat, buddy. You got 8 raffle tickets, by the way, with all your super chat combinations so far. So thank you. A better Cam Newton. If people remember Cam Newton at Auburn, that dude was dealing, baby. That dude was dealing. Give me some Cam Newton. That would be spectacular. So hell yeah. Appreciate you. Thank you. Backwoods Aren't Cool for the calls. All right, let's go to the phone lines here. We got several people on the road. We got Nate here. What are we on, a bike? Where are we at, Nate?
We are, BG. We're on the great Upper West Side of Manhattan. How are you? It's been a
while. I'm great. Yeah, it's been a long time, man. Beautiful scenery happening here.
Yeah, we're getting some, we're not really, Central Park's got some foliage here, all the but there is a little bit in New York City.
Okay.
Um,
Wow. Yeah.
Regarding the draft, I
Yes.
like the guy you had on the other day, the draft guru
Yeah.
who had his own like mock draft thing, and I was kind of on the same idea as him. Like I like Warren, but I was on the same plane of like draft everything he said about drafting, pass rushers, corners, and wideouts. The value positions at those top 10 picks, which if you look at where they're drafted, they get paid on where they're selected. So drafting a guy at 7 who's a tight end is actually very different than drafting a guy at 15 when he's going to make
Right.
60% of the money. I just think it puts a lot of pressure on Muji and co, who seem like they've already told us, which I commend them for, how they're going to build this team. It's not going to be through free agency. This wasn't a good free agency class, but no great football team is built through free agency, and they pretty much looked at it and blinked and said, all right, we'll grab a couple of backups and we'll grab a guys who can help when guys are injured possibly or can be depth on our roster, but they weren't going to waste money on a bunch of no-names potentially who are out there. And not only that, but I like that they're confident building through the draft. Like we are missing 3+ starters right now.
Yeah.
But they're going to get them through the draft, and they told you that through free agency. We don't have a tackle right now. We don't have like a whole tight end room right now. They're going to draft those guys. You don't know if it's going to be first round, but we're going to draft guys who are going to play on the team. So I think Glenn is certainly as a former scout and Mooj and them. They got to be confident in who they're going to get. On that, Justin. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, the only thing I was going to just add is you're right that they're putting a lot of pressure on themselves to nail it in the draft. And obviously, that's the preferred way because it's cheap labor and they're young and you can develop them and all the strategies of select, draft, develop, maintain that talent. So, yeah, that would be amazing. We'll see. That's a lot of pressure. So we'll see if they're able to do it. Go ahead, Nate. You want to talk about Justin Fields?
Yeah, well, but on that same Warren point, yeah. So we just saw Myles Garrett request a trade this offseason. Oh, this guy's just thank you, sir. Thank you. A tight end is never going to request a trade that he would get laughed at. It's impossible. So just more on the point of it just puts so much pressure because he would automatically be paid as a top 5, top 10 tight end of the sport, where it just puts so much pressure where, this has to be the guy. He better be Rob Gronkowski. For every Brock Bowers, which I say that facetiously because there's only been one Brock Bowers. Yeah. There's so many more Kyle Pitts and every other tight end that's drafted in the first round that's supposed to be the guy. Maybe they turn into a starting tight end, which, again, doesn't have that much value as a pass rusher or even a right tackle or, I don't love Ted, but a wideout or someone we can get in the first round that actually will bring a lot of value to our football team and will bring it on a budget deal the first, 4 or 5 years with the fifth year.
Go through all those guys, right? Like Eric Ebron, top 10 pick, and he was just a guy. He was just fine. He had a couple of blow-up touchdown years, but besides that, he was just sort of a guy. So, yeah, you have to be sure if you're going to be investing that sort of capital, because if not, then just take a different position.
Yeah, that's what the draft is for, too, is getting those guys, the tight end in the second round who ends up being a starter, and you're paying him second-round money, not top 10 money to attack to. Again, it's not a guy that will change from 4 wins to 10 wins. You saw with Brock Bowers in L.A. He's a generational player as the draft guru referred to, but he didn't change a lot of wins on the team. And these were guys that were, I've heard people, I think Indy Jets made the point is of course he's going to have receptions. He's the only guy on the team. That's like saying any NBA player can get 50 because they have the ball a lot. That's just not true. The NFL defenses are game plan. By week 10 and 11, they were game planning to not have Brock Bowers catch the ball, and he was continually catching the ball up to 10 or 12 times a game. So the bottom line is he's good. But regarding Justin Fields, and this is perfect because I'm at 10 blocks from home.
Yeah,
I'm excited. Like one guy just called him Lamar, and I'm an Ohio State alum too. So sure, bring in all the Ohio State guys. Why not?
Yeah.
But if you look at you go to the one thing that stood out for me, you look at highlight videos, you look at all 22 of Justin Fields, you look up the Chicago Bears Reddit and Twitter, and then their YouTubers. Everybody, and I'm not just talking about teammates, not like the Aaron Rodgers thing. Everybody loves this guy. They were so proud to have him as their quarterback. I don't know if it was his press conferences, the way he carries himself on the field, the way he lays it all out when it has the style of football running. I don't know what it is, but everybody was so proud to have him as their quarterback. Chicago Bears fans, they were devastated, even after getting Caleb Williams, and even more than the Sam Darnold truthers or the Aaron Rodgers truthers. They were devastated. They absolutely wanted and every team does. They want their guy to be the guy. But they were going to have Caleb Williams as next prospect, and everything you read from Bears fans to reporters to obviously teammates, DJ Moore put his neck out that he wanted him back as the quarterback. Everybody absolutely loved this guy. So I'm just excited for the season to see what is it about this guy that makes players, teammates, and fans absolutely fall head over heels for him. And I'm sure we're going to have a lot of us in chat are going to end up in Justin Fields jerseys, even though we promised ourselves we never would.
That's true. I will say this. This is so we obviously part of this mock draft that Chad Reeder threw out there was the Jets taking a quarterback in 7th overall. And while there's a lot of polarizing nature to that of like you're for it, you're against it, it's exciting, it's a franchise quarterback, you think it's all these other things. The thing I would be disappointed with, even if it's my boy Kyle McCord for God's sakes in 7th overall, the thing that would be most disappointing is exactly what you just said about Justin Fields. Is you would know immediately that Justin Fields' clock is now ticking, and he can't be the franchise quarterback anymore because they're obviously eventually going to go to this first-round pick at some point. I really want Justin to have his chance. Again, if we could get Cam Newton Auburn, whoever said that earlier, sign me the hell up. That'd be amazing. But in all seriousness, I want him at whatever he's going to be. Let's give him a fair shake. People don't think the quarterback class is that great. I'm not saying you don't have to take one. Take your Common Core in round 3 or round 4 or whatever. But if you take a quarterback at 7th overall, Justin Fields' entire destiny with the Jets dramatically changes. And I would love to see them get something for him in a perfect world that will help him in some way. And so I hope he gets a fair shake. Again, to your point, that is what everyone continues to say. Teammates have been talking the world of him. Fans have loved him. There's some quality apparently about him that is infectious, and I can't wait to really learn what that is. And I think you only truly find out whatever that magic sauce is when you have him on your team and you're getting to cover him and be around him in games and everything else. I think that's going to translate whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely something about the guy. He didn't win games, but fans were devastated to see him. When for our team, fans were literally volunteering to drive Zach to the airport or Sam or any other quarterback. So to have that record and to have the fans kind of stand up for him, there's got to be something about the guy. So I'm interested. And we've never had a scrambling Jets quarterback, so I'm excited on 3rd and 16 to see a guy run and be like, oh shit, we actually have a chance. We're not just going to get 4 yards and then slide and punt. So it's exciting, but thanks for keeping me company on the way home, BG.
Of course. Yeah. Thanks, Nate. Anytime. Feel free. I appreciated the sights and sounds. We got a little bit of everything. We got a great Nate call. I got a lot of commenters here in the chat saying they enjoyed the call, and then also I enjoyed the sights. I'm like, oh, look, I'm looking around the city. I'm just a small town boy here in Oswego, New York, and I just drive here to Syracuse back. So it's kind of the same sights I'm getting all the time. So it's sort of nice to get some different looks. So thank you very much. Got another super chat coming up here. Aced up 10, baby, hitting us with it.
Wow.
Hey, what up, BG 1999? Thanks, Aced up 10. Good to see you, pal. Thank you. Thank you kindly. Let's add that to your total. We're having a lot of people rallying, with those raffle tickets coming in. We appreciate it. Yeah. Let me put it in here. You got some loose change in here, too. Beautiful. Let's add that up. 128 raffle tickets so far this month, leading the pack, Aced up 10. Thanks for all your support, pal, and good luck for the contest, which, like I said, is right around the corner. We'll be announcing this on, let me get my math right. We'll be announcing this on Tuesday, April 1st, the actual winner, and you guys can continue to send in your raffle tickets through Monday, March 31st. And then immediately on April 1st, any super chats you receive on that day or memberships or anything will immediately go to our April draft. I'll give you that hint, that April draft giveaway, which is going to be awesome. So, hey, now you guys got a couple more days to send in your raffle tickets, memberships, and everything else in between for everybody there. Appreciate you. Thank you. Aced up 10, baby. Cooking. That was cool. That was great on Nate's bike. Great tour. Very nice. Everyone's saying Nate is a daredevil. We're getting some good props here, Nate. Some good props. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Again, shout out once again to Aced up 10. Appreciate you. Got 6 more raffle tickets here. Let me throw the banner back up. 128 raffle tickets so far this month. Thank you, pal. Thanks for the financial support for the show. Appreciate you. And mental support, physical support, spiritual support. Yeah, it's been great. Anywho, back to the phone lines. Pep joined us here on the show. What's up, Pep?
Hey, Paul. Hey, fellas. Is it true that Russell Wilson was signed by the Giants?
Unbelievable. It's so weird. So yesterday on my radio show, right? So the Giants had already signed Jameis Winston over the weekend. My radio partner's a Giants fan. And at the end of the show, he always says, Paul, if you have any final thoughts, share them. And he throws it over to me. And I said, actually, I want to throw it back to you. And I said, so the Giants signed Jameis Winston. I'm like, what does that mean? Can they still, and these are the words I said, can they still sign a Russell Wilson? Will they just go to the draft? What do you think? And we talked all about it. And then I get the ding. What the hell? The Giants did sign Russell Wilson, which obviously eliminates them from the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes. It's a 1-year deal for like $21 million or something. So obviously he's the starter now. But I'm curious, do they end up? Do they still draft the guy at 3? My gut would say no, because this staff is going to be fired if it doesn't work out. So that removes a quarterback team, which puts potential either the Jets get a quarterback at 7 on the board that's a trade down or something, or that quarterback going to like Vegas or something, one of these other teams, all of a sudden, maybe now a new player slips to us that wouldn't have to otherwise. So a lot of fascinating ripple effects, but 100% the Giants did sign Russell Wilson. Wow. So they got Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, my boy Tommy DeVito. What the hell?
I love Tommy DeVito with when he did that thing with Arnold Schwarzenegger, the twins. He was great.
He did great in that movie. One of my favorites.
Yeah. So who's the quarterback for Pittsburgh?
Well, here's the thing that I hate Pittsburgh Steelers fans, and I like reiterating that any opportunity that I have. They're all waiting and drooling over Aaron Rodgers, and I hope to the high heavens that Aaron Rodgers is like, I'm just going to retire, or just like, I'll wait for the Vikings. And then the Steelers are absolutely left with Mason Rudolph. There would be nothing sweeter than these elitist Steelers fans who have questioned whether or not they wanted Rodgers. They're like, okay, fine, we'll take him because they have no other option. And for Aaron Rodgers to say, nah, I'm good, shove it, pal. So the Steelers just get a taste of what the rest of the NFL has gotten. They have all these championships and things that have always been glorious. Oh, black and yellow, over and over again, those annoying bastards. So it would just be great for him not to. But in all honesty, I believe ultimately Aaron, at some random point, whenever he decides to do whatever he wants, I'm glad we're not attached to that anymore. We're having Aaron Rodgers update episodes anymore. So I think he eventually signs with Pittsburgh, and then we have a Jets-Steelers game to look at for 2025. That's what my gut says. But boy, if Aaron tells them to pack it, they've got Mason Rudolph.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking maybe Pittsburgh would be the trade partner for us.
Ooh. Would you be willing to drop back that far? That's 21.
Well, I'm thinking I'm really kind of warming up to the idea of loading up for our quarterback for next year.
Fair enough.
Collecting the ones and then packaging them up and going up and go get them. Okay,
that's a good plan. Well, again, you'd get a lot of picks dropping back that far.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good players on round 2 and 3. I think we could probably fill a lot of holes with that if we collected some stock draft capital.
Yeah, would make a lot of sense.
All right, guys. Hep. I'll see you later.
Thanks for the call, Hep. As always, we appreciate you. Yeah, again, the Steelers trading up could be obviously it'd be the desperate option if they don't get Aaron Rodgers or they go into the draft not knowing. They're like, oh boy, we're at 21. We might have to trade up big time and do something crazy. So we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, that'd be interesting. The Steelers could be effed. It could be happening. We'll see what happens there. Mason bleeping Rudolph. Unbelievable. What are we doing? FL Phil 98 says the Giants are making us look good. Damn straight. Hey, guess what, Giants? We got the better former Steelers quarterback. Suckers. Yeah, we got our guy. Okay. Anywho, let's go back to the phone line side. We got MJ here on the show. What's up, MJ?
Hey, good morning, Paul. I just want to say, man, you have a great show, man. You're a great host. You got some great callers, and you have really good energy. So I just want to let you know that I hope you get like more subscribers and you get everything that you want. I love how you show your daughter when there's a super chat. That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
But I've got to be negative though, because
oh boy,
when I looked at here's a negative. You look at Aaron Glenn and Steve Wilkes, right?
Yeah.
So Aaron Glenn is the head coach, and now you've got Steve Wilkes, the defensive coordinator. All you have to do is look at the 2024 championship game, the Lions and the 49ers. And, the Lions, that first half, they go up and down the field on the 40. They scored 24 points in the first half. I mean, you talk about a defense that is completely discombobulated. They had no idea what they were doing. Okay.
Mhm.
And then look at the second half, in the third quarter, the 49ers score 17 points on Aaron Glenn's defense. They're up 24-7. And they give
Yeah.
up 17 third quarter points to tie the game. And they lose now, obviously, that game was not good for either coordinator. And the game
No,
was
no, right,
lost.
yeah, yeah.
The game was lost because they were, Detroit went on fourth down several times and lost on downs. It gave possessions back to the
If they
49ers.
just kick that
But
field goal, MJ, and I'm not a Lions fan, you're at the end of the
yep,
first half, you're up
yep,
24-3, kick the field. They just and Dan Campbell, that's
exactly.
where I think Dan Campbell, I know Lions fans. There's one that's a broadcaster that I work with, and he said, "Hey, you can't take the man out of the, if that's what he's always going to do, you have to ride and die by all of them." And I say you can't just be that black and white.
Precisely.
There has to be gray. There has to be like, I know I'm captain aggressive, but read the analytics,
Yes,
look at the situation. We go up an additional score if we kick this field goal right here. And that's the one that I go back to, that they end up losing in the end. But at the time, even I'm like, oh boy,
yes,
Lions are going to kick a field goal here. And they don't. They turn it over. 49ers get some momentum and the game flips. But that field goal in the end of that first half that they did not take, the Lions would have been in the freaking Super Bowl. And who knows what happens
I
then?
know. I know, and that's the thing is that, and it makes me wonder that when he did that, that's why he went in the second half on those fourth downs, because he didn't do it in the first half. If he'd done it the first half, the game probably would have been out of reach.
Yes, agreed.
It would have,
Yeah,
instead of 20, been 28. So, but this is the thing though, is that people are failing to realize that. I mean, not that I followed the Lions, but
sure.
they've had a really, really good offense. But
Mhm.
historically, their defense has given up a lot of points.
Yes.
Glenn has given up a lot of points. Look at his points average.
Mhm.
So but this is a thing, though. I mean, we were talking championship, the championship game, one game before Super Bowl. I mean, the Jets just want to make the freaking playoffs.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if they
Yeah.
can be better than the monstrosity that was this year with, oh my God, I mean, the defense completely collapsing after Salah's gone, then I think it's going to be a win for them. But then also look at what happened with Steve Wilkes in the Super Bowl. You have Shanahan actually second guessing his scheme, calling a timeout
Mhm.
because they were playing such uh, a non-aggressive scheme against what KC was doing. They had, I don't know if you remember, but they had like five. They had like an umbrella. They put like five backs way
Oh,
back,
yes.
like
Yeah.
10 yards,
Yeah.
and it was like 3rd and 5, and so they're just like daring them, just and he says, "What is this shit?" And he calls a timeout, basically calling out his defensive coordinator. And you knew he was going to be fired after that, regardless win or loss, that
Uh-huh.
he was gone. So I just kind of wonder about that. And
That's
and my second thing is about Aaron
yeah.
Rodgers.
Yeah.
I know people have talked about it, and Justin Fields, I think, was for their situation. I think he might be one of the best, picks, or to get him on the Jets because of what Nate said about people loving him, and he had decent record with Pittsburgh. But man, you're giving Rodgers one shot, 1 year coming off an Achilles, and now you're just letting him go. And he
Mhm.
had it. I mean, I know that they had a bad record, but you can't blame everything on him. I mean, you had a horrendous defense. You had a running game that was non-existent. You had a field goal kicker who probably lost 3 or 4 games just from the lack of kicking field goals. And I know it's not all about that. I know there's some other extracurricular things with Aaron Rodgers, but man, why don't you just give him one more chance to see what he can do? Well, what is your thought about that?
Well, I would say, first off, on Aaron Rodgers, I was a guy that
Hmm.
wanted Aaron Rodgers back. After everything
Yeah.
settled, I'm like, looking at everything that was there, I thought Aaron Rodgers provided the Jets the best chance. But circling all the way back around, I totally understood AG and Muji. They go into a room and they have the same thing that I just said. All right, do we want Aaron Rodgers back? Yay or nay? Okay, let's put whatever that answer is on the side. Now let's look at all of the available replacement options if we decide to go through door number 2. All right, what
Hmm.
is who is everyone behind door number 2? Trade, free agency, draft, everybody. Okay, interesting. All right, now let's go back to door number one. What do we want to do here? And then ultimately, the Glenn and Muji had to decide if Rodgers was to come back, is he going to buy into everything that we're selling here on it? If he is, great. This could be a wonderful thing. Rodgers extends it gives us this guy continuity. He's the quarterback. But here's the problem. If Aaron Rodgers does not buy what Glenn and Muji are selling, there are obviously players on this Jets roster that are part of Rodgers' posse. And I'm not saying whether that's good or bad, but for instance, when it was announced that the Jets were moving on from Aaron Rodgers, Quinton Williams, one of the leaders on the team, immediately comes out, another rebuild, eye roll, emoji on social media. We could have that conversation about social media and players and things of that nature, but specifically to that situation, if Rodgers ever in the middle of the season, went, you know what, fuck these guys. These guys have no idea what they're talking about. There'd be several players who would follow Aaron Rodgers. He's the 4-time MVP. If he says it, that's it.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately what Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji have to say is they have to say, how many shots are we going to get as a head coach and GM? Maybe it's only one. Do we want to live and die on the Aaron Rodgers sword, or do we want to live and die on our own sword, which, again, they've chose, door number 2 with Justin Fields? Is that going to work? Yeah or nay? We'll sort of find out. But to me, I don't blame them for saying, you know what, let's just wash our hands. Let's create our own culture here. It might have been hard to coexist that culture.
But I think it's worth the risk, though, because I hear what you're saying. But it's worth the risk because even if it goes south with Rodgers, I mean, he's a strong enough personality where I would hope that he could handle that. And if they start off really bad, then you change him and you put in Fields or whatever the other quarterback would be, or you go the whole year, and then if it goes that way, then it didn't work out. But I just have a feeling that Rodgers is going to be really strong because he's coming. Always the first year coming back from an Achilles is always the roughest. And this guy is an incredible athlete. He's an incredible thrower of the football. I mean, talk about placement and all that. Sure. I just think you just got to give them one more chance and take the risk. And if they have a bad year, then because now, man, they're tested. Realistically, I know people. I want the best for the Jets, man. I would love the Jets to make the playoffs, man. I was so gung ho last year, man. Like when they were those HBO specials when they were showing the Jets right before the regular season with Aaron Rodgers, and I got so hyped up, and then to see what happened on the third or fourth play, after he's carrying the flag. I mean, God Almighty, man, it killed me. And then having to watch Zach Wilson and all this lack of preparation that was done by the GM, not having a freaking feasible backup quarterback, in case that happening. I really want the best for the Jets, but now, man, it's looking like it's going to be a 5 or 6 win season, man. I hate to say that, but I hope that I'm wrong. I hope Justin Fields is great. I hope he's like a poor man's, the quarterback for the Eagles. I keep forgetting his name.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. I mean, that would be incredible and if they can solidify the defense, but man, because I hear Jake Asman, and he's thinking it's gonna, not be a great year, with what it looks like. But hey, you don't know until they play the games, right? So you can still have, positivity. But man, I'm gonna be so pissed if it's another freaking here's the Jets. Something's got to freaking change, man.
Fair enough, MJ. I appreciate the call. The fact of the matter is, there is a chance Aaron Rodgers looks good in Pittsburgh or wherever the hell he goes. There's that possibility. But to me, again, here's another question. And what do you believe the Jets with Aaron Rodgers looks like? What's the ceiling? Do they win the Super Bowl? Do they go to the conference championship? Do they go to the playoffs? Are they 9-8, 8-9? I'm just throwing that out to you. What is their ceiling? And then whatever that ceiling is, then you have to discuss it with other things you're looking for. I think the Jets wanted a clean break, and they got the clean break. But anywho, we got a couple of callers. Taylor said he was about to hit that $20 bounty. Up to you guys on the bounties. Which, hey, I appreciate all the financial support for the show. There you go. Oh, there you go. Well, we got $5 bounty. That close enough. There you go. Super chat.
Wow.
Aaron Rodgers is so yesterday. Time to move on. All caps. Emmanuel Holcomb. You've made your message loud and clear, Emmanuel. You made it loud and clear. Which let me put this in here. You got yourself another raffle ticket. There you go. 6 raffle tickets so far this month, Emmanuel. God bless. All right, let's go back to the phone lines here. Up next, we got 3 siblings here on the show. What's up, 3 siblings?
Hey, what's good? BG, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I thought you were the perfect caller to follow up some Aaron Rodgers action.
Listen, I know the chat knows how I feel about Aaron Rodgers, so I won't even go into detail on that. I had more to talk about, but what I will say is the top 4 teams left, in the AFC and NFC championship game. Look at their quarterbacks: Jaden Daniels,
yep,
Jalen Hurts.
Of course.
You have Josh Allen. You have Patrick Mahomes. You have Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson not even in that game. Like, that's the quarterback. You need to be able to move now. And Rodgers, he can't move.
Fair enough.
And I'm done talking about him. But I do want to talk about two points really quick.
Okay.
My first point is with Warren, right?
Yes.
I think everyone knows how I feel about Warren.
Oh, yes. You've been quite clear on that matter. Yes.
At 7, he's a great player. I get it. But you look at Brock Bowers, right?
Yeah.
When he was a freshman, he had 850 yards, 13 touchdowns. His sophomore year, he had almost 1,000 yards. His junior year, he was hurt. He missed 5 games, and he still almost had 800 yards. Like, that is a generational tight end at Georgia, not a 5-year player that has 1 year of production, Ty Warren, and you want to take him at 7. It doesn't make sense to me. It never did. I'd rather go offensive tackle at 7. It's about positional value. We don't plan picking in the top 10 again. So why are we going to pick a player? You know what I'm saying? That if you pick him, he'll be the top 5 in his position. How much he makes because he drafted at 7. It makes zero sense to me. Like, especially when you have the tight end from Michigan that's literally ranked in Daniel Jeremiah's list, the next best player. Like, he has Warren at 5. He has Loveland at 6.
That's correct.
And he's supposed to go like 20s, like in the 20s. So, like, why are you taking a tight end at 7? It makes zero sense to me, man.
I will just add this for the people out there, because the stats are true. Everything you just said is correct. Brock Bowers, all of these numbers he's had for multiple years, and Tyler Warren really has the one awesome year of production, 100-plus catches, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns, all that jazz that he has. The thing that you either have to accept or not accept, and maybe we'll get there when we're talking draft, when the draft's here and whether or not the Jets take him or don't take him. The conversation that Penn State people have is that they had so many awesome players that Tyler Warren had to wait his turn, basically. It's like, who's a good example? I'll have to think of someone that's buried on a really good depth chart for a long time before they finally get their chance. And then for people, they realize that, yeah, there you go. There's a good one. So, but that's what I'm talking about, is that you could either and say, okay, he would have been awesome all those years if he would have gone the op, or maybe he wouldn't have been. Again, the 1-year wonder status is a fair point. I would say the only not criticism, but whatever the word is for you mentioned it beautifully. Daniel Jeremiah's top big board. If you guys want to look it up. Tyler Warner is 5th overall of any position. He's 5th overall, the 5th best player on the board. Colson Loveland is 6th best on the list. The only thing that Loveland, I guess, doesn't provide, Daniel Jeremiah did a breakdown of this, comparing them to Rob Gronkowski and Travis Kelce, of the types of players there. Not saying they will be those players, but the types of the blocking and the receiving game versus the receiving game, and then the blocking isn't quite there, is what they say about Loveland. That Loveland doesn't have the blocking, which, if you just want the crazy receiving tight end, that's great, but that would be the criticism, as other people said about Loveland.
Yeah, no, those are fair points. My other point, my last point I wanted to bring up was about Justin Fields. If we were moving on from Rodgers, which I wanted to move on, right?
Yep.
We're going to draft a quarterback. Justin Fields was the quarterback that I wanted the most out of everyone that was
really
available,
okay.
Right?
Interesting. Right.
Justin Fields has been dealt a bad hand, right? And no one's gonna go to excuses. But he didn't perform. You know, like, the team wasn't built. I feel like this is the Sam Darnold aspect of it, where his organization failed him.
Interesting.
You know, and you have your fans crying out for you to keep him, and basically they didn't want Caleb Williams. And I know everyone's down on Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams, if you look at his stats, look at his advanced analytics, he had a pretty good season for a rookie season.
He did.
Was it
Yeah, yeah.
generational? No, it wasn't. But he had a good season. That just shows you the person Justin Fields is. You know what I'm saying? The effect that he had on his teammates, and I'm really happy that we have him, and we're gonna try, to win. But this is not a lost season. This is not 5 wins. Like, just because we don't have flashy names and it's not the players that you won and Aaron Rodgers is gone. Like, we had 5 wins with Aaron Rodgers. 5 wins. And real quick,
Yeah.
vote Queenie Leany today. Like, Neil, he's a good dude, right? He's a season ticket holder. He's been a Jets fan for years. But Queenie, her husband, her son, they're Giants fans, and she's in the house, and she is a Jets fan. She could have easily loved these championships, right? Watched it, been happy, but she struggles with us. She's a true Jets fan. Vote for Queenie. Thank you, BG. Chad, you take care. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you 3 times. It's always great for you to call back into the show. We haven't had you on in a hot second, so appreciate that. It's some Queenie Leany love. Okay, God bless. I didn't realize that she had the unfortunate reality of being surrounded by so many Giant fans. God bless. Prayers up for Queenie and everything she's doing with. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We got for Lily and Big D, baby. What's up, pal?
How you doing, BJ? Good morning.
Yeah, what a show. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, I want to go back to something Hep was saying. You and Hep were talking about at 7. It intrigued me when you said it, which made me want to call in. Saying if we were, let's say Pittsburgh doesn't get Aaron Rodgers, Aaron retires or whatever he does.
Sure.
What could we get for the 7th pick? Obviously, we get the 21st, but what else could we get? And is there a defensive player on Pittsburgh that we'd want to combine with that? Because I mean, I think you've heard me before. I'm all about Mason Graham. I want that defensive line. I really want to go kill the quarterback on the other side. But
yeah, that'd be great. So I'm taking a peek at the Steelers depth chart here of saying
I was looking at it also.
Here's a fun one of like that you're doing this with, and the name may not stand out to people, but like here's what boy, give me Brandon Eccles back, but I'm just kidding. But no, give me a young player that showed immediate upside that was very consistent at Jets mock drafts last year. Keanu Benton at nose tackle. He would be a lot of fun. Throwing him over. He's a younger player that, again, it would sort of be a throw-in in the relative overall evaluation of this. If you could get one of their linebackers, like probably it's obviously it's not going to be Queen. Speaking of Queenie, it's not going to be Queen. It won't be Peyton Wilson. If you can try to sway Alex Highsmith, he's a really talented player. I don't think people realize how good he is from a name value standpoint of somebody, but he'd be fun. So either Keanu Benton is a super young player that you could get for cheap rookie control that'd be really attractive to me, and I would imagine be attractive to the Jets. Or if you want to go with a slightly, older in Alex Highsmith, he's a really interesting player that can play a little bit of linebacker. I like him a lot too. He's 27, so like I said, he's a little bit older, but again, he had 6 sacks last year, and then the analytics just look really good. It looks like he's a guy that's on the precipice of popping. But obviously, if you're dropping from 7 to 21, you're getting their future first. Unfortunately, you can't get their second this year. They traded that for DK Metcalf. So you're getting their 1 swap this year, the 1 next year, a 3, and then work in one of either Keanu Benton or Alex Highsmith. Obviously, Alex Highsmith is a better player and older, but so you have to pay the difference in contract, but that's sort of what I'd like. I like the creativity of that for one of those hauls because when the Jets moved up in 2009 from 70 to 5 for Sanchez, they gave up guys like Abram Elam, Keon Coleman, and they gave up a couple of those, or Kenyon Coleman, excuse me, and Brett Ratliff. All these pulls from my brain from 16 years ago, but those players like that, when you're able to kind of mix in some players, kind of mix up the value to try to make up the difference or something like that, I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it'd definitely be intriguing. And then at 21, that'd be an interesting pick at 21. I mean, I think you still get another defensive tackle there because it's deep.
100%.
You can pick up, maybe a wide receiver.
The pool is just different, right? When we swim in the
Yeah.
7th overall pool, we talk about this player, this player, this player, this player. You jump
Right.
to 21. We're in a different pool. We're in a different
Exactly.
community. Now, all of
Yeah.
a sudden, we're talking about Emeka Ibuka's defensive tackles. We're talking about the second, third waves of wide receivers. Like, all of a sudden,
Right.
the names completely change.
Yeah, they change. Yeah. All right. Just wanted to throw that in there. Thanks. Great show.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Whoa. I appreciate it, Forley. Sorry, I didn't want to sneeze on you on camera. Okay, I'm back. All right. Let's wrap up with one more call. Thank you for Lily. Again, inspired by a HEP call. That happens to all of us. Let's wrap it up with a hop on pop before I head on over to the radio station. Father?
Hey, now.
Good to see you. How you doing?
Good. I missed the beginning of the call, so I just had a question of this mock draft. Does it have us, what does it have us picking, that 7, or is it the trade back? I've heard a lot of that talk.
Yeah. So here I will recap it. I will say all the picks. 4-round mock draft. This is NFL.com's Chad Reeder. Jackson Dart was the 7th overall pick. Ole Miss quarterback. Yeah, there's that look. Kenneth Grant, the interior defense lineman of Michigan, was at 42, which I love that, and one of the best deals of the draft. You get Jack Besh. He's a TCU wide receiver. He was in the 3rd round, 73 overall, and again, thoughts out to his family. He lost his brother Tiger in the senseless New Orleans tragedy. So that crazy driver that was in New Orleans, he lost his brother Tiger, who was a player at Princeton, college football player. So salute up to Jack Besh and his family. And then Ozzie Trapillo, a 6'8" Boston College right tackle, was the other guy. That was the 4-round mock.
Oh, okay. Because you said something earlier I did catch where you talked about with the Pittsburgh signing Russell Wilson.
Yes.
That would open up, would they draft somebody?
Unlikely right at 3rd overall anymore. That was basically my take is now that they have Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson, this Giants head coach and GM could be fired if this year doesn't go well. Are they going to draft a quarterback for the next regime who's not going to play behind those veterans? Probably not. So they're going to take a win now thing, which now pushes a potential quarterback down, whoever that is, if there's a quarterback to even be pushed down. Is it Shadur? Is it whoever? And then it opens up, if you're not a Jets fan that wants Shadur or one of those guys, maybe someone else does. And that opens up trade opportunities for you if that guy's there at 7.
Yeah, it's just that rationale. That's what I thought. The rationale that the Giants, their quarterback room is full. It's just odd that the Jets don't think the same way, because the Jets are arguably in a better situation than the Giants. So their need for a quarterback is even less so than the Giants, right? If the Jets indeed got the best Pittsburgh quarterback available, and they must have because they paid him a lot more.
Not that much more, but yeah.
Well, the baseline contract for Russell Wilson is $10.5 million, right? With incentives, it moves up, right? So it's a significantly different contract. Let's just
right. Incentives, yeah, that's true. Yes,
that's right. And so, and Tyrod, I would tell you, is a lot of things. He may be a lot of things, but he's not. He doesn't steal crab legs, nor is he a turnover machine. So I would tell you, with all that being said, they're in a much better situation quarterback-wise. So if the Giants don't need a quarterback, guess who doesn't either? The Jets don't need a quarterback.
The only counterpoint would be, right, so Giants regime could be fired if this year doesn't go well. Their ass is on the hot seat. This Jets regime is brand new, so they can afford the luxury of taking a quarterback and letting him wait because, well, who cares if they win? Again, who cares, Jet fans? Obviously, we care about them winning games, but them winning 3 games, 7 games, 10 games, 11 games, they're not getting fired after this year, regardless of the scenario anyway. So they have, in theory, the flexibility to make a move of that nature.
It just doesn't seem like that would be get the most bang for the buck. I think trading back, depending on who's available at 7, is better. And I would argue, and it pains me to say this, that Jordan Travis has a much better upside than Tommy Cutlets. Right? And it pains me to say it. Tommy DeVito played the worst game for an NFL quarterback in the history of the league. Like it was the most painful game. It's
not his fault,
watch.
but yeah.
Well, it sucks to suck, right? So, and it pains me to say that. I love Tommy DeVito. Like, I don't understand why he has not failed to make that transition. So, outside of the feel-good story, it doesn't feel good anymore. Especially, go back and watch the tape of that Jets-Giants game. It hurt. I watched the game, and it just hurt to watch. And so, anyway,
we can't get that time back. Yeah.
Yes, it was ouch. So, anyways, I think the Jets are in a better room, the quarterback room wise. Use this draft. Right. The 7th pick is like you have a bank account and it's got $10 million in it.
Yeah.
And so, what do you do with it? Well, you reinvest it, right, and you build that nest egg, and then you get multiple picks to fill the holes that we need. And I think that's the vision for Muji and Aaron Glenn going forward. So I just had to.
Yeah, but before we get you out of here, Pop, I see this member super chat shout out here.
Wow.
Dan Philcox, a member for 6 months, says it's happy birthday to the great Johnny Boy. Okay, happy birthday, Johnny. There you go.
Johnny Boy, who is very similar to Johnny Appleseed, who's trying to. Johnny Appleseed was trying to repopulate the planet with apple trees, and Johnny's trying to repopulate the planet through other means.
Okay,
so
there you go. Make the world spin.
Make sure you get your raffle tickets in. April 1st is coming. They call that Boy Green Day because he's a fool. But Boy Green Day is coming up. Get your raffle tickets in. And coming up on the draft, it's going to be a great show. It's going to be live. There's going to be a Hop on Pop segment. We'll be jumping on, jumping off live from Abu Dhabi. So make sure you get ready. It's exciting times to be a Boy Green Coffee Club member. Subscribe now.
And the last nugget for Lillian Big D said he bought the Moron Cup. He enjoyed it in the Boy Green official merch store, which, by the way, the link is always in the description down below. So he appreciates that. And there you go. For Lily's there with the WOW. Wow. Appreciate it. Well, Pop, I got to head over to the radio show, but thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. Looking forward to this weekend.
We'll see you Saturday.
Can't wait. All right. Thanks, Pop. We'll see you. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in. Got to run to the radio station. God bless. Take care, and we'll see you later. Enjoy some Survivor tonight, baby. Let's go.